Alrighty, my digital heathens, how's it going out there? Thank you for coming by my YouTube channel and checking out my drawing of Maleficent. This is a redesign of the character that was made famous by the Disney movie Sleeping Beauty. And I was just thinking, because they had the Angelina Jolie version of Maleficent coming out, so Disney redesigned her, I thought I would do a redesign also. And in my redesign, I went back to more of the traditional Maleficents, where she was a bad guy instead of this basically humans are evil and she was a good fairy or misunderstood fairy, or however you want to call it. The original Maleficent was supposed to be like the embodiment of malice, of evil, the basically just looking for a reason to be pissed off. Very proud character. Very vengeful, I guess. You know, I mean, the whole story came across is that she was gonna gank Sleeping Beauty because her parents didn't invite her to the christening. Like, since you didn't invite the devil to the christening, you're gonna have to deal with her vengeance. So that's why I went with this more sinister look. I gave her a double set of horns, and then also in the in the fairy tale, she becomes the dragon instead of the dragon's like her minion in the Angelina Jolie version. Excuse me. And so that's why I kind of threw the dragon in the background, as if it's like her, you know, her alter ego peering around the image, and still as it kind of sweeps into the foreground, interacting with her at the same time. I also wanted to make her pretty sexy because I thought that the original Maleficent kind of had that beguiling, you know, love potion number 9, sinister, femme fatale type of thing going on. You know, basically like a Black Widow. So that's why I gave her, you know, designed the dress to be like a open halter in the front and then split up the side of her thigh all the way to her hips. And I also included lots of curves, so there was no doubt that she was very feminine. Man, I'd almost say more like Mae West, or even Marilyn Monroe, like, you know, not a little skinny mini, but very voluptuous villain, very voluptuous woman. And I also, as you can tell right here, wanted to keep some of the original color schemes. So Maleficent had a lot of purple and sickly green, you know, basically denouncing that she was pretty much bad news, instead of the earthy brown of the live action movie. So that's why I kind of went with I gave her purple hair, and then I'm laying down base coats here in yellow, but that's going to eventually be covered up with a green. I also did this almost exclusively in ink, brush and ink, even the colors. The black lines are done with a fine liner, but the coloring was done with ink and brush. And I guess these, I mean, they're called inks, but they're kind of almost like just liquid acrylics. They're a little bit transparent, which is nice, because then you can get the colors that you lay down underneath coming through. And just do like a lot of little layering. You don't have, I cut them with water a little bit, but you don't have to do that really. I was pretty much doing that just to get a different feel on the texture of the fabric, so it wouldn't be so dark, so I could do some more layering on top of it. But with like the dragon wings and so on, I wanted to get a darker color. At this point, I decided that I was going to overlay green onto the turquoise I was laying down, so that's why I cut the intensity of it with water, so it would be more transparent, less opaque. I didn't really have to do that with the yellow. I didn't have to cut it because I was going to lay in green on top of it, but yellow is such a, I don't know, subtle, submissive color. You can be overwhelmed with just about anything. So I didn't have to cut that at all. You can see I'm doing the dragon the same colors I'm doing her dress. And that was to, you know, show that they're actually the same creature. Also, the dragon tail on the bottom right corner, I curved to mimic her hips and butt, basically, to kind of show that they were the same creature. That's also why I did the horns on the dragon in the same style and basically similar curves. It almost looks like the dragon horn is a continuation of her horn, and that was to show again that they were the same creature. Instead of you know, her minion or lackey. And I like the idea that she snuffs it out in the Disney cartoon. You know, it just seems like it's good to see the villains get their comeuppance. Which in the live action she was portrayed as the victim of the evil king. In the original story, you know, she wasn't all that flippin' nice. Here I'm laying in lots of black for the background, which I wanted to do. I know in the original, her dress is all black and sinister, but I thought it would be more fun to use the blues to show a correlation between her and the dragon, and then the black would kind of like hold everything down for the solid background. I also decided to do a paint and brush instead of my normal. I would have just inked this in with pens, but it was fun to get the inks and the brushes out. Look there, you can see a picture of in the very corner. You just saw a glimpse of my Power Girl drawing that I was doing for YouTube. And you can see like adding in the green right here on top of the yellow. The yellow, it doesn't dominate at all. The green just kind of overwhelms. I think with the yellow undertones, it kind of makes it look like an acidy green color. I'm using all the greens for the shadows to add depth to her pale blue skin, which I'll be adding in a lot more green to show extra other colors. But I'm doing it subtly with lots of watered down ink to get some depth. Now, I almost think this was almost a mistake, but it turned out okay when I painted the green on the cheekbone to give her the higher cheekbones and sunken in eyes. Almost looks like her head was a little too skeletal, but that kind of works itself out in a little bit here when the rest of the colors are applied to the painting, or to the ink drawing. I guess it's not really paint, so it's a drawing. Yeah, once I started doing like the darker colors on her face, it got less skeletal. And there's a couple spots where my camera died, so like you don't get to see me add all the extra green into the face of the dragon, like right there. And then this is the only part I really used markers, and it was I wanted to get a nice gray. There's my camera died again. Anyways, we're about to the end of this. I hope you like my redesign of Maleficent. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Peace out, my digital heathens.